HyperX is diving into a new hardware category with the Armada 25 and 27-inch gaming monitors. And HyperX isn't bothering with the industry standard monitor stand, but instead includes a desk mount and monitor arm right in the box for these two displays. It's also delivering solid mid-tier performance with 1080p 240Hz on the 25-inch model and 1440p at 165Hz on the 27-inch panel. And we got our hands on the 27-inch, but does it live up to the $500 price tag? Well, let's dive in and check it out. Hey everyone, I'm Jordan with 9 to 5 Toys. We do have the Armada 27-inch, and here let's run through some of the quick specs before we dive into a closer look. This is an IPS panel with a resolution of 2560 by 1440. Refresh rate is 165 Hz. It does have a 400 nit brightness, which allows for HDR 400. It's also G-Sync compatible and has a price tag of $500. Now you can save a little bit of money by going for the 25-inch rather than the 27-inch, but this was the one that I was most drawn to because I usually enjoy 1440p for gaming, but then also for productivity as well. Now first off, let's take a look at the overall design. And we just recently reviewed the NZXT Canvas 27-inch monitor, which had a pretty similar design to it. From the front, they're both very clean. The chin on the bottom is pretty minimal, and also the bezels around the side. On the chin, there's a small HyperX logo, and there is one on the back as well. There are also some kind of glossy plastic bits on the back, but overall for a gaming monitor, it doesn't really scream, gaming. It doesn't have any crazy plastic shrouds or any RGB that goes too wild. For the most part, it is pretty clean, just like the NZXT. And we'll dive into it a little bit more, but by far one of these standout features here, which also plays into that price point, is the monitor arm. You can see it kind of illuminated over here on the right-hand side. And that does come with this desk mount that clamps to the desk, but then also the monitor arm that actually connects to the monitor. And the way HyperX has this designed is that the desk mount is already prepared for another monitor arm if you wanted to add one or more displays. HyperX does have a way, I'm pretty sure, of putting up to 4 displays on a single arm if you are doing the 25-inch. So check that out if you're interested in really building out your display panel there. One major difference between the NZXT Canvas 27 and this HyperX Armada 27 is the assortment of ins and outs behind the panel. On the HyperX Armada lineup, the monitors have a single DisplayPort 1.4 port and 2 HDMI 2.0 ports. The NZXT had quite a few more options, and I'll link that up here in the corner if you want to check that out and see what that monitor is all about. And while I enjoyed the stand that came on the NZXT Canvas 27-inch monitor, there's a lot of adjustability in there and it felt really solid, it is really handy to have a monitor arm. And that is an option with the NZXT, and I believe even the panel with the monitor arm is gonna be a little bit more affordable than the Armada 27-inch, but the fact that it's included in the box does make it pretty handy with the HyperX. There's some small HyperX branding on the monitor arm and some simple cable guides to help hide the clutter under the arm and down the back of the desk mount. And adjusting the monitor on the arm is also extremely easy. It's well weighted to make turning, raising, lowering, and tilting the monitor all really simple. And all in all, it feels like a solid monitor arm that is perfectly suited to the Armada 27-inch display. And one thing I wanted to demonstrate here, I am using a Flexi Spot desk. It's adjustable, and so it does have just a little bit of shake to it if you shake that, but then that really does translate quite a bit to the monitor as well. See if you can pick it up. Maybe you can't really pick it up that well, but if you do kind of shake your desk a little bit, it does kind of transfer through all the way through the monitor arm to the monitor, the display itself. But it's not like, moving around or adjusting itself. It's just like there's a little bit of shake in there that does get transferred. And moving on to the display itself, with that 1440p resolution, a 1 millisecond refresh rate, 165 Hz, it is a really good looking display for both gaming and for productivity. And at 400 nits, it does have a higher peak brightness than what the NZXT Canvas 27-inch does. And on the color side of things, I used the Datacolor Spider X to calibrate this monitor, and it really didn't take that big of an adjustment from the standard color profile to get it calibrated through that. And one surprising bit there was that it actually brought up the saturation in the reds a little bit. And most gaming monitors that I've tried, it has to, dramatically reduce the saturation to get it to a calibrated level. But with this one, it was actually pretty close out of the box and just kind of boosted that a little bit. Well, another note here, using the color checker, it gives a little readout display at the end of what the stats are, and it was showing 97% sRGB on the HyperX Armada 27. whereas with the NZXT Canvas 27, it was showing 100% sRGB. But all in all, color and clarity and even motion has all looked really good on the Armada 27. Using the UFO monitor test to kind of check that refresh rate and see how it looks for smooth motion moving across the screen, it all looked pretty good and there was no stuttering throughout the display. There is an adjustment for the response time within the menus. I think there's like 1 through 5. And I didn't really see that big of an adjustment going from 1 to 5 when actually looking at that UFO test and seeing if it would tighten up some of the motion and, kind of reduce some of like the blur in between frames. It did seem to brighten these stars in the background when I went from 1 to 5, but as far as, really tightening up that image and making it more clear, it didn't really make that big of a difference. So I just kind of left it in the middle and just called it good. But overall for gaming, this has been a really solid mid-tier display that's been a lot of fun playing Battlefield, which has been the game that I've been playing the most recently. The motion seems really clear, it seems very responsive, everything seems pretty smooth. The colors are good as well. There's not really a complaint that I have about this for my kind of mid-tier gaming setup. I'm not going for like crazy high refresh rates. I'm not going for crazy high resolutions. Everything seems pretty well suited for what I was looking for out of a gaming monitor. So at $500, this is kind of a stretch for the spec sheet that we're getting here. Of course, it is a big plus that it comes with that desk mount and monitor arm, but you can get those third party, and you can get a cheaper display panel and kind of get those combined together for less than $500. Looking at B&H, there are quite a few different options that are in the like $300 to $350 price range that give you the display that has pretty much all the same specs as this. But that being said, I don't really have a complaint about this monitor. I thought that the color was surprisingly good out of the box for what it is as a gaming monitor. The resolution, refresh rate, and smoothness all seemed really great throughout the display. Likewise, the design is nice and clean and minimal. It's not, a gaudy gaming display. Everything seems pretty tidy on it. And at 400 nits, it can get brighter than a lot of the other competition around it. So while I don't think you'll be disappointed by this monitor, there are some other more affordable options out there if you really wanted to save some money and aren't like tied into the HyperX brand. But that's going to do it for our review of the HyperX Armada 27. Let us know what you think about it down in the comments below. And if you're looking for some other videos to watch, I will link to our review of the NZXT Canvas 27 as well as our most recent video. And thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up so it's easier for others to find, and consider subscribing. This is Jordan with 9to5 Toys.